Hi, I'm Claire, and this is your 15-minute morning flow to get you moving and mobilized first thing in the morning. I'm going to lead you through a really short, slow flow designed to open up the hips, get the ribcage and the shoulders moving so that you're ready to start your day. We're going to get started in child's pose. So bring yourself onto your knees, bring the big toes to touch, knees wide, send the hands out in front of you and drop the head down towards the mat. So just taking a moment here, allowing your breath to settle. Allow the hips to drop back towards the heels and try and release through the chest, allowing it to drop heavy down towards the mat. Allow the breath to come in and out through the nose. Think about sending it down to the belly. From here, we're going to walk our hands over towards the right side of the mat. They're likely to come off the mat, that's okay. Then you're going to take your left hand, place it on top of the right, shift your hips over to the left heel and drop the head back down. So we should be feeling some sensation down the left side of the body. You might be getting it around the shoulder, maybe down the side of the ribs, maybe coming down to the glutes, around the side of the pelvis. Really pressing through the hands to shift those hips over towards that left heel. One more breath. And then starting to walk the hands through center. We're going to take that to the second side. So walking the hands to the left side of the mat, taking the right hand on top of the left, dropping the head down, and then shifting the hips over towards the right heel. And just notice where you feel it on this side. Maybe it's in the shoulder, maybe the hips. One more breath. Coming back through to center. From here, we're going to take an active child's pose. So you're going to press the fingers down to the mat, lifting the palms. Drop the head back down, but you should feel your elbows lift up off the mat. So we're looking to feel a little bit of a strengthening sensation across the shoulders and the upper back. Really pressing the fingertips down into the floor. One more breath. And lowering the palms. From here, drawing them towards you, we're going to come up to all fours. So in our all fours, we want to stack the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Spread your fingers wide and feel a press down through the palms into the mat so you can feel the muscles around your upper back engage. From here, moving into our cat-cow, we inhale, lift the tailbone, roll through the spine, lift your head. Exhale, drop the tailbone, roll through the spine, drop the head down. And again, inhale, rolling through. Exhale, rounding out. So moving in time with your breath, and that might mean you're moving at a slightly different pace to me, that's okay. But just notice how the back feels. Can you articulate through each individual vertebra? Or maybe one section of the spine seems to move in one block. Now the cat-cow might be doing everything you need right now, but if you feel like you need to add a bit of extra movement, you can freestyle here. So that might be a little twist of the hips side to side. You might take a circular motion through the rib cage. You might add the head in as well. And you might just round out and rock forwards and backwards. Just moving in a way that feels good for you. Working through those tighter areas, brushing away the cobwebs. Don't worry too much about how this looks. As long as it feels good, then that's all right. Taking one final round of breath, And coming back to neutral, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, making our way into downward facing dog. Now again, we want to keep moving here, so press one heel to the floor and then the other. And again, if you need to take a little twist through the hips, maybe a ripple through the spine, you can take whatever feels good for your body. Remember, we're just waking up, getting the joints moving, bringing blood into the muscles, so don't worry about making it look like a perfect downward dog. Take one more round of breath. And then coming to center, we're going to inhale, roll forwards, find a high plank position. Now in your high plank, think about pressing the floor away with your hands so we feel the upper back engage. On your next exhale, we're going to soften the knees, send the hips up and back to down dog. You can keep your knees bent. Inhale, roll forwards, high plank, press the floor away. Exhale, bend the knees, send it back, downward facing dog. And again, inhale, roll forwards. Exhale, sending it back. Taking a few more rounds, again, connecting to your breath. Don't worry if you're not on the same timing as me. Taking 3 more rounds. And when you've finished your 3rd round, you're going to hold it into downward dog. Again, you might take a bend in the knees here, but we're going to inhale, rise up onto the toes. Exhale, start to lower the heels down to the mat. Inhale, rising up onto the toes. Exhale, heels down to the mat. Just a few more like this. Again, you can have bent knees, but we still want to feel that stretch through the calf muscles as we lower the heels. And can you think about pressing your chest through towards the thighs, so you're getting a bit of a stretch through the upper body as well. Final one. This time, inhale, we rise up onto the toes, and exhale, we're going to take a twist. So the knees are going to the left, and the hips are shifting back towards the heels. Inhale, rising up through center. Exhale, we twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. So just going as far as feels good for you. You might go all the way down, or you might stop halfway. Again, we're just starting to work through those hips, getting a twist through the torso. Final round. Coming back to center. You're going to take an inhale, sweep your right leg high. And then from here, send that foot forward. So it's coming to the outside of the right hand. Back knee drops to the floor, and we're untucking the toe. Come up onto the fingertips and just start to send the chest forwards. You're going to feel a stretch coming into the hip flexors to the front of the left hip. Pressing that chest, pressing the hips. And then lowering that left palm down to the ground. Inhale, we're going to sweep the right hand forwards. And exhale as you reach behind. Inhale, sweep it forwards. Exhale, reaching behind. 3 more like this. Really opening through the chest. Seeing if you can stack that right shoulder above the left. Final time. And then threading that hand through, placing it to the inside the right foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, stepping back to downward facing dog. Again, just have a little walk out here, a little wriggle through the hips. Coming into left side. So inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, you're going to step that foot to the outside the left hand, drop the back knee, untuck the toe. And again, we're coming up onto the fingertips, we're lifting the chest. Now you want to think about sending the chest forwards and pressing the hips forwards. So really getting that opening through the hip flexors on that right side. Keep that breath nice and steady, in and out through the nose, deep belly breath. and lowering that right palm to the ground. Inhale, you're going to sweep your left arm forwards, and exhale as you reach behind. Inhale, sweeping it forwards. Find that opening through the chest. Exhale as it sweeps back. 3 more. So can you get that rotation through the torso, left shoulder stacking above the right? Final time. And again, we're going to thread that hand through, place it to the inside of that front foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, step it back to downward facing dog. From here, we inhale, roll forwards back to our high plank, but this time we're going to drop the hips, start to come into an up dog position. Drop the knees, shift back through child's pose, meet into downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forwards, drop the hips, start to open through the chest, finding that little back bend. Drop the knees, shift it back into down dog. Just 2 more like this. Try and drop with control, so bringing a little bit of strength into the shoulders. Final time. Rolling forwards, feeling that nice stretch across the front of the body. And shifting it back, down dog. If you feel like you need to have a little walk out through the feet, you can. But then we're going to look forwards, and we're going to start to tiptoe our feet forwards towards our hands. Start to soften the knees. And then when you reach the hands, the feet want to be about hip width apart. You're going to grab onto opposite elbows. Make sure the knees are soft. Dropping the head, you're going to take a little sway side to side. So this is your ragdoll position. Really allow the weight of the head to drop down. Torso is resting onto the thighs. And then hanging through the center, you're going to release your hands, really bend the knees, and you're going to place your right hand in between your feet. Now, if this doesn't feel too comfortable, you could always take a brick underneath that right hand. Shift the weight in towards the right leg. That's going to allow your left leg to straighten. Left hand comes to the hip, and we start to rotate through the chest. If this feels okay, you might release that left hand up to the ceiling, twisted forward fold. Keep reaching up with the left fingers. And again, we're rolling through the chest. So we're trying to stack left shoulder on top of the right. 1 more deep breath. As you exhale, lowering that left hand down to the floor, bend both knees. Left hand comes into the middle of the mat. Shift the weight into the left leg. Start to straighten out the right. And again, we're going to peel that right side of the chest open. So right hand to the right hip. Or again, you can release it up to the ceiling, whichever one feels best for you. As much as possible, we're rotating through the chest. So we're not reaching the arm behind us, it's just going straight up to the ceiling. 1 more deep breath. And exhale, lowering that hand down to the floor. You're going to start to heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. Your toes are probably going to come to the edges of the mat. We're going to start to drop our hips coming down into Malasana Yogi Squat. Now, if your heels don't come to the floor, don't worry too much about that. Because for right now, all we're doing is taking a little rotation through the knees, starting to work into those hips. Seeing if you can drop that knee a little bit closer to the floor each time. And then coming back into center. If it feels comfortable, you're going to lift your hands to prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Just take a few breaths here. As you inhale, think about lifting through the crown of the head. Exhale, squeeze the knees out towards the little toes. 1 more breath. Exhale, coming into a forward fold position through the spine to standing. Thanks for joining me, guys. That was your 15-minute morning flow. Hopefully you're feeling ready for your day, and I'll see you soon.